Yes, 8-bit is over. What I mean by that is, for me, I've finished collecting for it. And this is the last of the 8-bit pickups. So I thought I'd throw it all together in one episode. Hence the title and the thumbnail, End of 8-bit. So yes, it's all Famicom and ColecoVision. So if that's not your bag, unfortunately, this might not be for you. So without further ado, we've got a few to get through. I have picked a couple of bits up the last couple of weeks. I've unfortunately, I fell down a rabbit hole again. And it's my own doing, to be honest. I've gone off on a tangent. I sold my PSP, I don't know, 18 months ago, on my collection. So, you know, I thought I needed money, and I thought, well, I can live without that. However, I'm kind of blaming Pete Snestastic and Rob Champion 2D, because they've both been going on about handhelds and the PSP of late, in particular Pete, and it kind of got me thinking I wished I'd kept mine for the handful of games that I was interested in playing on it. I should have just sold sort of 80% of my games and kept the few that I was bothered about. Anyway, so it's thrown me down the PSP rabbit hole. I'm not buying many. Like I say, I'm just looking for the ones that I specifically would kind of like to play. And it kind of started with, I wanted to play Outrun 2 handheld, obviously. And so I thought, I've got to get myself a PSP back. So there's been some PSP pickups recently. So there will be more of that to come. However, back to the 8-bit. We'll try and rush through this. There's a few to get through, and it's blooming warm up here, I'll tell you. Right, we'll start with the Famicom. Well, we'll mix it up. We'll do the Famicom to start with. There's more Famicom than there is ColecoVision. First one we've got is this one. Nice blue card. Astro Robo Sasa. I think this was when I was trying to get all the shooters. And this came up as part of like the shooters on the Famicom. So I bought it. I can't remember. It's been so long. I don't know how much these cost or anything. I don't think it was mega expensive. And I think it was quite cheap. However, it is a shooter, but it's a very strange shooter, I've got to say. It's kind of like Joust, where it's kind of gravity based. If I can put some footage up, I will, but it didn't seem to be on my EverDrive device, and I was struggling to capture footage off the actual CRT. But yeah, it's like Joust, only it's backwards, if you like. Your character has got a gun, and whenever you fire the gun, it projects your character away from the gunfire, like recoil kind of thing. And you've got to use that gun power to project yourself around the screen to wherever you need to be, to either kill enemies or pick up these like energy capsules. Single screen. It's one of them. It's a bit weird for its own good, but I kind of like it. It's an interesting game. It by no means brilliant, but interesting. Right, next up we've got a Namco cart. I do like these. And we've got Terror of Druaga. I was after the arcade ports as well. I'd never played this up until quite recently, in the last 12 months or so, when it's on one of the arcade 1-up cabs. And I really quite like it on the 1-up. And so I thought I need to get the Famicom version. And it's very similar. I mean, it's a very basic game, Terror of Druaga. And it is quite slow, but I don't mind that, to be honest. It's essentially a maze game, as you'll see from the footage. There are enemies within the maze. You've got a shield and a sword. if you're holding the sword, your shield don't work. So you've got to, you know, be careful when you're holding the sword, otherwise you're open to attacks. And as the later levels progress, some of the enemies fire missiles at you. But anyway, you've got to work your way around the maze, find the key and get to the exit, avoiding the enemies. Very simple, very slow gameplay, but I do really rather like it. And that one is cheap. Then another one, another arcade port. Nice red cart. Capcom game, this one obviously. Sun. I love this game. Tremendous. Kind of a platform shooter. If you've not seen it, I'm sure you probably have. Where you scroll, the screen scrolls from like left to right, and it's numbered at the top, and you've got to work your way down from 20 to like number 1, while jumping up and down the platforms, shooting the enemies, and you can sort of rotate and turn left and right to shoot the enemies in the back or forward facing. Really, really good, fun, simple, classic arcade game. Next up, we've got the classic Chase HQ. Taito, obviously. I didn't actually realise this was on the Famicom up until a few months ago, and as soon as I found out, I had to have it, obviously. Not a bad game of Chase HQ, to be honest. Obviously, it's nothing like the arcade, but I think compared to the Master System, I think I prefer this one, to be honest. Really not bad at all. Plays quite well. It's got the same frustrations as the arcade Chase HQ, where you're constantly drifting off the road, round corners. But that said, it's really decent, I would say. Then next up, we've got Hyper Olympics Konami cartridge, and this works with that track and field controller I bought months ago, what I showed, which is bespoke to the Japanese Famicom. Didn't come out in like the US and Europe. That just used the controller to play them, I think. Where these you have to use the specific track and field controller, I believe. But obviously Hypersport, it was on the, I played it on the Spectrum, you know, multi-event game like track and field, only different events, you know, triple jump, archery, clay pigeon, you know, that kind of thing. Really good. This next one, nice white cartridge. We've got Crazy Climber, which again is an arcade conversion. Nishibitsu, this one. I want to like this game, but this is another one like the Astro Robo Sasa. The controls are just so weird, because each sort of, your limbs are controlled by different sort of button combinations, and it's so awkward. I can't get my head around it. But you've got to climb up a skyscraper, basically avoiding the obstacles and people throwing stuff down. I really want to like the game, but the controls are just so awkward. Right, we'll do one more Famicom, then we'll do the ColecoVision. This one I bought for the shooter set, and I was a bit disappointed with it, if I'm honest, the first time I tried it. Then when I went back yesterday just to have another look at it before I filmed this video, I don't know, it seemed better. Anyway, another nice white cartridge. We've got Airwolf, as you can see. I don't know actually who made this. Not sure if it's the same people who did Airwolf on the Mega Drive. It's not the same game. This is more your traditional sort of left to right horizontal scrolling shooter. It's got really good music. You've got the Airwolf theme, much like the Mega Drive one. And you can choose your weapons at the start, and that really does. I haven't sort of played it enough to establish which one's the best weapon. But the one I chose yesterday really seemed to impede me, and I couldn't. I didn't feel like the shot was very efficient. It was firing off sort of in an arc rather than straight in front of me. That said, I quite enjoyed it. So, not a bad game, Airwolf, I would say, on the Famicom. I'm not sure if that came outside of Japan. Wouldn't like to say. Right, we'll do the ColecoVision. We've only got 4 of these. So yeah, I'm done collecting with the ColecoVision now. I've got all the ones I wanted. In an ideal world, there's probably a couple more that I would consider, but they're quite expensive, and from my point of view, they're too expensive for what they are. So unless I ever see them cheap, I'm certainly not buying them. Anyway, first one we've got is Rock and Rope, which I had before when I had my ColecoVision collection. And this is another arcade conversion, as most of the ColecoVision stuff is. Single screen arcade game, quite difficult. You're basically working your way up from the bottom of the screen to the top by firing ropes, climbing up the ropes to the platforms above until you get to the top. But it's really difficult to sort of fire off these ropes and avoid the enemies and get yourself to the top. I'm terrible at it, if I'm honest, but I do like the game. Single screen arcade games I just think are fantastic. I have forgotten the game thinking about it for the ColecoVision. Right, we're back. Yes, I forgot this one. It was in the machine, and I think that last one and this one were off Jace at Retro Games. This is another one I had before, and I had to get it back in the collection, and it's Golf. Classic sort of space shooter, single screen again, like kind of like Galaxians, Galaga, that kind of game. Really good Golfies, and possibly the best version on the ColecoVision, I would say. Right, next up, I had to get this. Well, I say I had to get it. I wanted this badly when I had the ColecoVision before, and I never got round to buying it. It just never seemed to be available in the UK when I had my system and collection before, and I ended up selling it, you know, without ever getting it. So when I rebought the console this time, I thought I must get this game, and again I couldn't find one in the UK. I got a feeling this one came from Germany in the end. Anyway, I had to get Keystone Capers, which is obviously a port of the game that's on the 2600. Classic. I don't know how you'd describe it really. I'm sure you've played it. If you haven't, play it. It's great. It's kind of a platform chase game where you're a policeman and you're chasing a bad guy up a series of 3 levels within a scrolling platform level, and you've got lifts and escalators to help you catch the bad guy, and you've got to try and get him before he gets to the top. Fantastic game. Graphics are much nicer on the ColecoVision. Brilliant, love it. So simple, but an amazing game. Then next up, these next two, they weren't on my radar when I had the system before. But when I got it this time, I looked through the entire library and sort of decided what I'd definitely like, kind of thing. And this was right near the top of the list. And it's Gyrus. Parker Brothers kart, isn't it? Yeah. It's I think it only came out in America, this one. I could be wrong. I had to get this from America. Obviously, classic arcade shooter, Konami. Brilliant game. Again, kind of in the, I don't know, it's kind of like Tempest, isn't it really? And I love Tempest. and I'd got the 2600 version, obviously, and I thought, well, it's got to be better on the ColecoVision, and yes, obviously it is. So very difficult to get this was, as I remember, but fantastic. And I mean, Gyrus is just brilliant. And then the last ColecoVision game is another one in that kind of Gyrus mould. I didn't know about it when I had my previous collection, and I played. Have I got this on the Atari? I think I've got this on the Atari, and I played the. I'm sure I've got it on the Atari. Anyway, Beam Rider. Again, I'm sure I got this from America as well. Just one you don't see over here. An Activision cart. What an amazing game this is. It is brilliant, honestly. It's the arcade game is Juno First. This is like a blatant copy of Juno First. And I mean, if you've not played Juno First, play it. It is fantastic. It's kind of Tempest on a flat plane, if you like, rather than spinning round in webs. It's just like left to right. Honestly, and these on the ColecoVision, fantastic. It's great on the Atari as well, don't get me wrong. I had to get it on the ColecoVision. Absolutely, both of them, Gyrus and Beam Rider, stunning games, honestly. Right, next up, we're back on the Famicom now. We've got a brand new game, sealed. And it's this one. Brand new in the box. Brand new, like homebrew, modern game, whatever you want to call it. Made by the people who did... Is it Compile? Staff. Alest. And something else. They made like donkeys years ago. Anyway. This was a tip-off from one of my... subscribers who pointed this out to me. I think it was on Instagram actually. Anyway, Stu pointed this out to me, and I ordered it. This is like 12 months ago. I can't remember. Ages. What's it called? I've had to write it down. Choyoku Senki Estique. And it's a horizontal shooter. I haven't got any footage, obviously it's sealed. I haven't got round to playing it yet. I've got a steel, I think. It looks really good. It's just I haven't had time to try it, and it's one of these, in it. It's sealed. You know, it's hard to take the seal off something, isn't it? But what's the point in leaving it sealed? You know, I'm going to play it at some point, I'm sure. I just haven't got round to it yet. But I thought, being as this was kind of the last of the 8-bits, I had to throw it in. So, cheers for the tip, Stu. I'm sure it's awesome when I get round to trying it. Right. We've got 5 left. This next one is called, nice red cartridge, Shin Jinrui. Sounds like a card game, Gin Rummy. Anyway, it's Rygar, basically. Tecmo arcade game. This is made by Hudson Soft. I'm sure this is the one that's... No, I tell a lie. This isn't Rygar. No. This is a... Yeah, sorry. Scratch that. It's not Rygar. Shin Jinrui. This is a vertical shooter. Kind of in the mould of what's it called? Pocky and Rocky. Can't think of the Japanese name for it now. Anyway, it's like that. It's like a walking shooter, Elemental Master, Undead Line, that kind of thing. Obviously, much more basic and simplistic form. I really quite like this. Really good game. So I can't remember if it's cheap or a bit more pricey, but definitely worth checking out. Shin Jinrui. Kiki, what is it? Kiki Kai Kai? No. Anyway, this is Rygar Tecmo, as you can see. Quite a nice purple cartridge. Obviously, you know what Rygar is. Sort of a scrolling platform action shooting beat 'em up game. It's kind of good. I'm not crazy about it, if I'm honest. I know Steve loves it. It's good, don't get me wrong. It's just there's other things I like better, but I think it's a decent little conversion on the Famicom, I would say. So if that's your bag, it's certainly worth checking out. Right, next up, what's this called? Konami cartridge, YY World 2. I can't remember what put me onto this. It could have been just the fact it was Konami. And I did contemplate trying to get all the Konami games to start at one point, which I've decided against. Anyway, YY World 2. This is quite a cool little game. Platformer, kind of. I suppose it's kind of like Mega Man, really. You control this like little robot dude, and scrolling platform action game. But I think I haven't played much of it. I think as you go further into it, there's different robots and they've got different abilities possibly to help you negotiate different parts of the game. So if that's kind of your bag, this is certainly worth checking out because it does seem good when I've tried it. Then now this, I certainly remember this one is not cheap, and it's highly regarded, and it's another Konami game, and we've got, if I can remember the name, it is Yumi Monogatari Penguin, I think it's called. And this is kind of like that YY World. It's another action platform game, but this is really quite unique. You control this penguin dude, obviously, but it's kind of strange and sort of unique mechanic in the game, where you sort of, as you're negotiating the level, if you take a hit, your penguin gets fatter and less able to deal with enemies. So kind of, it's harder the more times you get hit, basically. And then you can sort of drink these little bottles, which recoups your fitness. And then once you've got your fitness, you're able to kick opponents rather than when you're fat. You sort of have to jump on them and belly flop them. It's really quite a fun game. I can kind of understand why it's expensive, because it's of the humour in it, really. I think the closest thing I could say to it, it's kind of a bit like Plock on the SNES, because you lose your limbs on that, don't you? It's got that kind of aspect to it. Obviously this is an earlier game, but it's really good. If you're into your Famicom and you're thinking about it, if you can justify the cost, I think it is perhaps worth it. Right, brings me on to the last one. So what's he saved till last? Alright, you ask. Another Konami cartridge, and we've got Contra, obviously. I'd got Super Contra, so I thought you've got to have the original. So I decided to get this. It's really good, I think, on the Famicom. I'm pretty sure that came out in North America. I don't know if there's a PAL version. I know nothing about NES PAL. But yeah, I mean, obviously you know what Contra is. This is really good. I think it looks good, plays good. Cracking version on the Famicom. So again, I thought, a good one to end on. I don't think it's the cheapest, if I remember right, as you'd probably expect with a Contra game. I think that one and the Penguin game, a similar kind of amount, maybe 40 quid, 50 quid, something like that, can't remember. Anyway, that's the end of the 8-bit collecting, I'm not saying there won't be any more, there might be, but it's certainly all the stuff that I was hoping to get, I've managed to tick off. So I'll throw it all together in one episode, I thought, and anybody who's a fan of 8-bit, happy days. Let me know what you think. The comments are what it's all about. I hope you're all well, not baking to death like I am now. And see you all soon. Being well, sayonara.